Hello for the 32nd Sunday of the year, using the two readings from the Old Testament, 1 Kings 17:10 to 16, and the Gospel, Mark 12:35 to 44. And the title is, Are You a Cheapskate or Are You a Generous Person? I don't know about that for a title. At any rate, cheapskate or generous. And we have the readings as far as a widow at the time of Elijah, which is about 900 BC, and Jesus in the synagogue or the temple, which is around 30 AD. And then we have each and every parishioner this week when the basket goes around in church. How much am I going to drop in? Huh. All three. Jesus and Elijah. Way back, Elijah, he observes a woman, a widow with her son, gathering things to make the last meal before they die. And then Elijah comes and asks for water, and he asks for some bread and a cake or whatever. And he asks her to do it before he takes care of her son. That's crass, I think. But yet, that's the story of in the book of Kings about this prophet Isaiah, and she winds up with the reward. But at any rate, I think it's sort of crass. And then there's Jesus watching the scribes and watching the people in the temple give it to the basket or the treasury. And as far as some of them are giving lots of money and so forth, and this one poor widow lady is over there, and she puts in a few cents into the basket. And then Jesus, says, this poor widow put in more than all the other contributors, for they have contributed from their surplus wealth, but she from her poverty has given all she had, her whole livelihood. Wow, that's generous. And then you and I, as far as when we give to charity, and I'm saying here at Fox Christi, or there at Fox Christi, and the basket goes around, you know, well, uh, are you a cheapskate or are you very generous? I hope you're generous, but here's the thing. In giving, there's ways of giving. And I think what I believe is with Jesus, he gives that perfect story of that lady who gives everything she has. Or we have religious orders, go and give don't have any money left. Go become a Jesuit or a Franciscan, or give all your money to the poor, come follow me, as Jesus said. Perfect, perfect, perfect stuff. I don't like exactly the perfect. I'll tell you what I like. I like uh, Tobit the prophet. I have this cut out or whatever and put into my prayer book. And here's what I like about giving. Am I a cheapskate or am I very generous? Tobit says this, and Tobit says this many, many years ago. The book was written. Tobit lived around 721 BC. And the book was written around 25 BC. And they even found parts of the book in 1955 in the Qumran cave of the number 4 cave in Israel. So as far as Tobit, I just love this because I think it applies. It takes the perfect and then it boils it down to everyday reality. Tobit says this, who lived in hundreds BC. Do to no one what you yourself dislike. Give to the hungry some of your bread, and to the naked some of your clothing. Seek counsel from every wise person, And at all times, bless the Lord God and ask Him to make all your paths straight and to grant success to all your endeavors and plans. I think that is the answer because that's the, well, I think it's the answer because that's what I try to do. I try to be generous. I don't give all of that I have away. And it's a judgment that I make about my money, my things, some of your bread, some of your clothing, and not do it with an attitude that bad attitude is I could have given more. And then you feel guilty because you didn't. And a good attitude, I think, is to give something, and that something give with a healthy tension and let it go. To move in the direction of trying to be generous, but make a decision and do abide by it and drop it in the basket or give it to the charity and let it go. It's gone. That $10 bill that you have there, and if you go in church and give it and you take your fingers and you let loose and it falls down into that basket, it's gone. Well, let it go, but let it go with some type of healthy tension and moving toward generosity, but not moving toward guilt. As far as in past, the elections are over. I think the Democrats, people funded the Democrats $1 billion. And I think the Republicans funded the Republicans $800 million and so forth. And they sent it in the mail or they let it go and they gave. I think it's a healthy thing to follow Elijah the prophet's story or to follow Jesus' temple or synagogue story or to follow just today watching the basket go around and see what goes in. Well, I'll like to try to give much, but in this homily, I would like to try to do much less, shorter for the weekend. Too often I've been going overtime, so I'll try to get down to that 8 or 9 minute level. Have a good day.